What's up, wrestling fanatics? Picture this. The arena goes dead silent at 11:47 p.m. 20,000 fans holding their breath as a black hood slowly peels back. For weeks, WWE Raw felt like a crime scene, attacks, chaos, victims left in the ring. Then December 15th happened. Austin Theory's face emerged from that mask, and Roman Reigns' expression told us everything we needed to know about what's coming next. All right, let's cut through the wrestling bullshit and talk about what really happened here. For weeks, this masked asshole has been destroying everyone on Raw. LA Knight gets taken out, War Games turns into chaos, and fans are losing their minds trying to figure out who's under the hood. WWE played this perfectly. They let the internet wrestling community go absolutely crazy with theories. NXT call-ups, returning legends, surprise debut. Everyone was guessing wrong while the answer was hiding in plain fucking sight. Here's the spicy backstory most people don't know. Multiple wrestling insiders have told me that Austin Theory's disappearance wasn't just creative writing. Word is, Theory was actually pulled from TV because backstage heat got too intense after his push flopped harder than a chair shot to the face. But here's the technical reality. Theory's previous main event push failed because WWE rushed him too fast. The guy went from developmental to challenging Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship without building proper credibility. Fans rejected him because he felt manufactured, not organic. Consider these numbers. Austin Theory's last major storyline as United States champion drew television ratings that averaged 2.1 million viewers. Compare that to when CM Punk returned and hit 3.2 million viewers, or when Roman Reigns' storylines consistently pulled over 2.5 million. Theory's solo push couldn't sustain audience interest, which is why creative pulled the plug. So the question everyone should be asking, was Theory's masked man reveal always the plan, or did WWE turn his backstage problems into storyline gold? Now, let's talk about that reveal moment because it was absolutely fucking brilliant. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul should have been the story everyone remembered from December 15th. Instead, one mask removal completely hijacked the entire show. WWE waited until the perfect moment, not during the match, not during a promo segment, but right after screwing over Rey Mysterio. They made Theory the villain before revealing his identity, which is smart booking 101. Here's what's being whispered backstage. Some wrestling journalists claim this entire mask storyline was Theory's idea to rehabilitate his character. The rumor suggests he pitched becoming a mysterious enforcer to gradually rebuild fan interest without the pressure of immediate main event expectations. The reveal timing was strategically perfect. Theory stared down CM Punk, not randomly selected wrestlers. That eye contact wasn't accidental. It was calculated storytelling designed to create multiple future storylines while positioning Theory as a legitimate threat. But here's the question that's dividing wrestling fans. Was this months of careful planning, or did WWE stumble into genius by accident? Let's talk about Roman Reigns' reaction, because that facial expression told us everything about WWE's long-term plans. Roman doesn't react to just anyone. He's the fucking tribal chief, the head of the table. When Roman pays attention, it means business. Roman Reigns built his empire by identifying and crushing threats before they could grow. The Shield, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes. He doesn't wait for storms, he becomes the storm. But Austin Theory didn't announce himself with music and pyrotechnics. He crept through shadows like a goddamn assassin. Wrestling insiders are buzzing about Roman's reaction because it suggests major storyline plans. The rumor mill claims WWE Creative has been secretly building toward a Roman versus Theory feud for months, using Theory's absence to create mystery and intrigue. Here's the mathematics of WWE's current landscape. Roman Reigns has held championship gold for over 1,000 days combined across his multiple reigns. He's main evented WrestleMania 6 times. Austin Theory is 27 years old with exactly 0 major championship victories. On paper, this shouldn't be a competitive feud. But wrestling isn't about paper, it's about storytelling and character development. Roman recognizes that this version of Austin Theory is fundamentally different. The old Theory smiled, took selfies, and begged for approval. This Theory attacks from shadows, aligns with dangerous factions, and chooses targets strategically. That transformation makes him unpredictable, which is exactly what threatens established champions. The question haunting WWE's hierarchy is Roman's attention, validation of Theory's new character, or recognition of a legitimate future threat to his dominance. Moving into the faction dynamics, because this reveal changes everything about the Vision. Suddenly, they have a secret weapon who's been operating in plain sight for weeks. That's not just good booking, that's psychological warfare. With Theory revealed as their hidden enforcer, every previous attack now makes sense. LA Knight's mysterious beatdown, the War Games interference, all those random incidents suddenly have context and purpose. Multiple sources are telling me that backstage reactions to Theory's reveal were genuinely positive. Word is, even veteran wrestlers who were skeptical about Theory's previous push are impressed with how he's handling this mysterious character work. But here's the controversial speculation. Some wrestling journalists claim WWE intentionally sacrificed Theory's initial main event push to create this masked storyline. The theory suggests they knew his character wasn't ready for the top, so they destroyed it deliberately to rebuild him stronger. The storytelling logistics support this theory. Theory disappeared right when his character felt stale, spent months developing new skills and character traits, then returned with completely different motivations and alliances. That's either incredible long-term planning or remarkable creative adaptation. Which interpretation do you believe? Calculated genius or fortunate accident? That stare down between Austin Theory and CM Punk wasn't random. It was personal as fuck. Theory chose to lock eyes with Punk specifically after revealing himself, and that decision tells us everything about his new motivations. CM Punk represents everything Austin Theory believes he was denied. Respect, second chances, main event opportunities, fan adoration. Punk fought his way back to WWE with scars and determination. Theory thinks he should have been there already without the struggle. Here's the backstage gossip that's absolutely fascinating. Multiple wrestling insiders claim Theory specifically requested storylines involving CM Punk. The speculation suggests Theory views Punk as the perfect opponent to legitimize his heel character transformation. Consider the career mathematics. CM Punk has held world championships for a combined 434 days, main evented multiple WrestleManias, and sold millions of pay-per-views. Austin Theory has held exactly one mid-card championship for 93 days. The experience gap is enormous, which makes their potential feud intriguing from a David versus Goliath perspective. Punk's return represents the ultimate redemption story, overcoming backstage politics, personal demons, and industry skepticism. Theory's character now embodies the opposite, someone who believes success should come without struggle or earning respect through adversity. But here's the question dividing wrestling analysts. Is Theory's targeting of Punk legitimate character development or desperate attention seeking disguised as storytelling? The broader implications for WWE's landscape are absolutely massive. Theory's reveal doesn't just affect individual feuds, it reshapes multiple storylines simultaneously. LA Knight wants revenge, CM Punk wants answers, Rey Mysterio wants justice, and Roman Reigns wants to assess the threat level. One mask removal created 4 potential feuds instantly. Wrestling business insiders are whispering that Theory's character transformation could be WWE's template for rehabilitating other failed pushes. The rumor suggests creative teams are studying this storyline to determine if the mysterious absence followed by villainous return formula can salvage other struggling characters. Here's what has backstage personnel buzzing. Is Austin Theory being positioned as a transitional heel to elevate established babyfaces, or is WWE genuinely investing in him as a future main event player? The storytelling evidence supports both interpretations. Theory's actions generate heat and create opportunities for fan favorites to shine, which suggests transitional booking. However, his strategic thinking and calculated targeting of top-tier opponents suggests more ambitious long-term plans. The verdict remains unclear, but the execution has been undeniably compelling. Let's get back to Roman Reigns' reaction, because that expression wasn't surprise, it was strategic assessment. Roman knows this version of Austin Theory represents something fundamentally different from the selfie-taking pretty boy who failed his previous main event push. Roman built his empire by recognizing legitimate threats early. This Theory doesn't smile, doesn't seek approval, and doesn't announce his intentions. He operates like Roman himself did during the Shield, calculated, patient, and fucking dangerous. Industry sources are confirming that Roman's on-screen reaction reflects genuine backstage respect for Theory's character work. Word is, veteran wrestlers have been impressed with Theory's commitment to this mysterious persona. Here's the championship mathematics that makes this interesting. Roman Reigns has successfully defended world titles against 37 different opponents across his multiple championship reigns. He's defeated former champions, legendary veterans, and rising stars, Austin Theory would represent a completely different challenge, someone with nothing to lose and everything to prove through chaos rather than traditional competition. Roman recognizes that Theory's unpredictability makes him dangerous. Traditional opponents challenge for championships through established protocols. Theory attacks from shadows, aligns with factions, and operates outside conventional wrestling politics. Wrestling insiders are buzzing about potential creative plans pairing Roman against Theory in a longer-term storyline. The speculations suggest WWE views this dynamic as fresh because it contrasts Roman's established dominance with Theory's guerrilla warfare tactics. But here's the question that could define WWE's next year. Is Roman's attention legitimizing Austin Theory as a main event threat, or is he simply acknowledging a well-executed character transformation that will ultimately serve to elevate other storylines? Here's what makes this entire situation fascinating. One mask removal shifted WWE's entire landscape. Theory went from forgotten failed push to mysterious enforcer to legitimate storyline catalyst in a single reveal. Most wrestlers who fail their initial main event push never recover. The audience moves on. Creative loses interest and careers stagnate in mid-card purgatory. Theory's mask character work represents something rarely seen, genuine rehabilitation of a damaged character through strategic storytelling rather than corporate mandates. WWE Raw ratings have been climbing during this Masked Man storyline. Television viewership increased by an average of 300,000 viewers during segments featuring the mysterious attacks. Social media engagement spiked 40% around Theory's reveal. These aren't vanity metrics. They're business justification for continued investment in the character. Is Austin Theory's transformation legitimate character development that deserves main event opportunities, or elaborate mid-card entertainment designed to elevate established stars? The Tribal Chief's expression suggests he's taking this seriously. Roman doesn't waste time on irrelevant threats. His attention means Theory has achieved something significant. Whether that's main event legitimacy or simply excellent heel work remains to be seen. The mask is gone, the mystery is solved, but the real story is just beginning. Roman Reigns is watching, CM Punk is targeted, and Austin Theory has positioned himself as WWE's most intriguing wild card. Which direction do you think this storyline goes? Is Theory a legitimate main event threat or a well-executed transitional character? Drop your predictions in the comments.